What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got multiple different things to go over here for you guys here in this video, including new checks. Refund checks start to flow out here on Tuesday to millions of people, as well as additional checks of 200,000 Americans going out here as well. We'll go over that and actually several more here in this video as well. That's part of my commitment to you here on a daily basis to let you guys know about all these stimulus programs on the state level, on the federal level, things you might not even know about, and everything going on in our economy and going on here on a daily basis. So if you're new to our channel, or if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon. It's completely free to do so. And don't forget to hit the like button for us as well. Yeah, I'm here with you guys every single day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll keep you up to date here. There's just so much going on here, especially before the midterms as well. It's just getting crazy. Yeah, that attack on Nancy Pelosi's home was just unbelievable. I mean, honestly, nobody deserves that. Republican, Democrat, anybody. Like he was 82 years old and has a skull fracture after being hit in the head with a hammer, and I had to go through surgery. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Yeah. Meanwhile, a lot of Americans' lives are at risk. You can see right here. The Fed could risk the lives of millions of Americans by the way it's choosing to tackle inflation. Top Democratic lawmakers are saying. So remember that the Fed, the Federal Reserve, is actually a separate entity from the government. Okay, the Fed is separate, the Federal Reserve. I know the Fed, you have to kind of say the Federal Reserve because it's separate from the government. So the head of the Fed, Jerome Powell, does get appointed by a president. So he was appointed by former President Donald Trump. He's a Republican. And Biden decided to keep him on. I guess he thought he was doing a pretty decent job. Honestly, I think he does a pretty decent job. Um, and I do think that raising the interest rates was the appropriate situation because interest rates were so low. I mean, but now it's kind of getting out of control. It's getting out of control. We're seeing a lot of people, people like, Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank, even Mark Cuban, a lot of people, yeah, even Elon Musk and Kathy Wood, a lot of big investors and people that follow the market saying, now it's probably time to cool it. You've raised interest rates so many times that we're kind of seeing the economy crater because now really we're seeing this all around the world where, Canada, European Union, countries all around the world raised interest rates because the reason you do that is because you could just take a look at the housing market, okay? Homes were selling for, you would take a $300,000 home, they were selling for, instantly going for sale, and they were selling for 320, 350, 375. They were overinflated. They were selling for over asking price, and that was not a normal situation. Same thing with cars. They were selling for over asking price, over the MSRP. It was not a normal situation. Okay, so raising interest rates is a tried and true strategy all around the world to lower inflation. Okay, it makes people say, wait a minute, we need to stop spending, stop buying homes as much, stop buying cars as much, stop getting loans as much. Because if you think about it, if you get a loan, that's what interest is. If you go out and buy a home loan, if you buy a car loan, you have to pay more interest. Okay, if you don't get a loan, you don't have to pay interest. Okay, so if you're not borrowing, money, if you're not getting a loan, you don't have to pay interest. If there's no loan, there's no interest. Okay, so technically a credit card is a loan. You're borrowing money. Okay, so if you're not actually borrowing money, you're not going to pay any interest. So technically, by raising interest rates, it's telling people slow down on your borrowing. Slow down on your borrowing. And this is actually what's happening. So mortgage demand, the people buying homes, has actually come down to a 25-year low. The amount of people buying homes has literally went from the fastest rate ever to a 25-year low. So it's actually worked, okay? But now they're saying we need to slow our roll because now it's going to hurt people too much. And I actually agree with that. Okay. So we went from an overinflated economy with a lot of things like home prices, car prices, the price on almost everything. And we've actually seen lumber prices come down dramatically, and a lot of prices on things that can come down. So, like the prices on food have not come down because the price on food doesn't really, interest rates aren't really affected. They don't affect the price on food. Okay. The price on gas is not really affected by interest rates. Okay. So, it can only affect things that are affected by interest rates. And this is the problem here, is that if they keep hammering interest rates over and over and over and over, there's going to be a certain amount of people that it's just crushing. Okay, people with credit card debt. We're already seeing credit card interest rates at the highest rate ever. They're already the highest they've ever been, as high as 22% on average. That's the average credit card interest rate now. We've seen 19 to 22% of the average credit card rate. The highest credit cards out there are 35 to 36%, which is absolutely just insane. Okay. So what that means is that, if your credit card interest rate at 20%, it means every year you're paying 20% of the balance just in interest. So 20%, that means every 5 years, you're paying 100% of what you owe just in interest. Okay. So if you owe $10,000 in credit card debt, 20% interest means you're paying $2,000, 20% of that every year in interest. So 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 every single year in interest. So after 5 years, 20% adds up 5 times into 100%. You've paid the entire balance just in interest, but you still owe the full balance. You still owe the debt, but you've already paid 100% in just interest. That's why credit card debt is so bad. Yeah. And the problem is there's going to be people that have to move. Their job requires them to move, for whatever reason. Some people just have to move. It's not like people can always stay where they are. Some people have to downsize. Some people have to move their job, whatever, right? Or they have to sell for whatever reason. And now interest rates have gone from 3% or under to over 7%. And you can see here, it's the Federal Reserve's job to combat rising prices in the country. But a top Democratic lawmaker isn't happy with the way it's choosing to do so. And really, a lot of people aren't. This week, Senate Banking Chairman Sherrod Brown from Ohio, actually, sent a letter to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell expressing concerns with the methods the central bank is using to fight inflation, which is really one of their only ways to do it that the Federal Reserve can do. The Federal Reserve is tasked with maintaining full employment along with stabilizing prices. But Senator Sherrod Brown said that the recent interest rate hikes is intended to slow price growth by slowing down economic activity. It could compromise the goal of maximum employment and cause a stream of job losses because it's going to hurt companies. They're not going to be able to borrow money because of higher interest rates, and they're going to have to, not be able to employ as many people. Quote, the Federal Reserve's tools work to lower inflation by reducing demand for economic activities sensitive to interest rates. However, a family's pocketbook needs to have little to do with interest rates, and potential job losses brought about by monetary over-tightening will only worsen these matters for the working class. Quote, for working Americans who already feel the crush of inflation, job losses will make it much worse. We can't risk the livelihood of millions of Americans who can't afford it. Sherrod Brown's letter comes as the Federal Open Market Committee meeting next week, where Jerome Powell is expected to announce another interest rate hike. Last month, the committee hiked interest rates 0.75%, 0.75%, which was 3 times larger than the Fed's usual uptick. It reflects the aggressive tactics it's using to tackle inflation. But those continued hikes could trigger a recession and interim job losses that lower income households could have difficulty recovering from, given the upper income households are better able to protect their wealth during economic downturns. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here on this. And the Federal Reserve is expected to hike interest rates here yet again in the next few days, and maybe even yet again in December. Yeah. Some people are saying enough is enough. You've already done it enough. It's time to stop. And every time they raise interest rates, that pretty much means that credit card companies are going to raise their interest rates as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, and they're raising interest rates everywhere. In Europe as well, the European Banking Committee as well. They've doubled their rates. But this also means that banks are paying higher rates in savings accounts and CDs as well. So deposit rates have gone up as well. So keep that in mind. Some CDs are actually paying up to like 4% now, I think, as well. But just keep all this in mind, because if you're not aware of this stuff, it's part of my job is to not that it's really part of my job, but this is part of my mission here to kind of like let you guys know about all this stuff. Okay, next up, money back. Tax refunds will start to flow here on Tuesday. Here's the details of this story. The first checks and direct deposits from a nearly $3 billion pot of excess tax revenue will head back to taxpayers starting on Tuesday when the calendar flips to November. The Baker administration announced on Friday. So this is for the state of Massachusetts. If you've been watching my channel, you know that 33 different states are sending back or sending checks out to residents of their states. And I'm keeping up to date here on all the states that are doing this here. So this is for the state of Massachusetts, going out to I think it's like a couple million people here. And this is good news because this is going out to 33 or 35 different states now at this point. A spokesperson for the Executive Office of the Administration and Finance said money will head out the door under the voter-approved tax cap law. So some states have laws where, like, if the state has too much money, surplus money, they have to send the money out. So the last time this happened was 1987 in Massachusetts by delivering massive amounts of taxes. Yeah, so here we go. About 3 million people in Massachusetts will receive a refund in the form of a mailed check or direct deposit worth about 14% of what they owed in state personal income taxes from 2021. So it's going to vary the amount of checks going to each person. So I don't know if we have a number here. The estimated refund of about 13% of income tax liabilities. I don't know if there's here an estimated amount here. I don't know, a couple $100, something like that, to each person. But yeah, it's going out to 3 million people here in the state of Massachusetts getting a check here. So really good news here. Again, just one of 33 plus states getting a check here this year. It's going to probably be even more next year as well. Even more next year as well. Next up, More than 200,000 Americans sent direct payments worth $170 in the mail. Is money coming your way? Here's the details on this one. Over 240,000 checks were sent out this past weekend to low-income households. This was the second payment sent to Connecticut residents in the past 2 months. So this is for Connecticut residents, and it's the second payment in the past 2 months for Connecticut. And a total of $42 million was mailed out on Friday and Saturday as part of the state's earned income tax credit. So the earned income tax credit, if you've been watching my channel, you already know that this is also known as the adult tax credit or the low income adult tax credit, or the it's for low income adults. If you got to file state taxes, and it's something you can get if you're a low income adult. Okay, so this is why a lot of times, even if you're not required to file state taxes or federal taxes, sometimes you might want to, because you can get money back. Yeah. So in this particular case, this is the second check going out to Connecticut, and they just sent out $42 million to low income adults. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit. And I think most, if not all states, again, I don't know the exact details of every single state, um, but most, I'll just say most states have a state credit as well. So the amount each person received varied, but based on their taxes, the average payment was $170. So again, just part of my mission is telling people about stuff like this so that they can get more money, right? Yeah. The payments were funded by the emergency pandemic relief that was sent out. So I guess this is stimulus money, right? Because this is the emergency pandemic relief that was set aside specifically for these families, reported by the Connecticut Mirror. Yeah, so this is part of the way that states are giving money back. So this went out to low income adults in Connecticut. Yeah, so there you go. Last year, the Department of Revenue issued 247,000 checks to Connecticut households that earned less than $57,000. So there you go. Another way that they're giving money back to low income adults. Just one specific state, but if you watch my channel, I cover these all the time. Okay, next up. Boise, Idaho will offer property tax rebates to low income seniors and veterans and disabled homeowners on the circuit breaker. Yeah, so some of the most deserving people here, right? That's a good word for everybody here, right? Most deserving, low income seniors and veterans and disabled homeowners on the circuit breaker. Circuit breaker, that's interesting. Low income seniors, veterans, and disabled homeowners. Here's the details on this. If you're on the state of Idaho's property tax reduction program and living in Boise, you will be eligible for even more of a break on your property taxes next year. Boise's in the development process of a property tax rebate program, which will give some property tax collections back to Boiseans. I love all these specific names that each state or city has. It's just literally awesome, right? Boiseans who own their homes, who are low income or veterans. If you're a veteran, thank you for your service. I have multiple veterans in my family. My brother, my grandpa was in Pearl Harbor 2 days before a Pearl Harbor attack. 2 days. And if he was there during the attack, my mom might not have been born. Yeah, very interesting story there. I've told it a couple times on my channel. So for low income people, veterans, elderly, and disabled. This program is new this year after Idaho legislature passed legislation earlier this year and allows cities to give property tax rebate checks back to residents. The state has been allowed. In fact, my mom's here right now. She was here watching my son, Julian. This is my beautiful mom here.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
And since she's here, I'll have her tell the story about her dad at Pearl Harbor.
Yes, my dad, Leonard Tompat III, was in the Navy, and he was in Pearl Harbor went right before they blew it up. He was there 2 days early, so he didn't really see the explosion, but he heard about it. And then there was World War II, and it was very exciting for him to be in the Navy and to see Pearl Harbor too. So he went all around the world on a boat in the Navy. He had a good time.
Yeah, but he was there 2 days
Yeah,
before,
2 days before they blew it up,
and if he would have been there 2 days later,
he would have been gone.
well, maybe.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
if you
Yeah.
weren't born yet, right?
No.
So if that would have happened, you might not have been born, and I might not have been born, and Julian might not have been born.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how the world works,
Yeah.
right?
And we went. Me and my son, even Jimmy, took us there. We went to see Pearl Harbor.
So yep, that's our veteran story. So yep,
Yeah.
my brother was in the Army as well, and so thank you to everybody who has been a veteran. Thank you so much for your service. And also, Mom, since you're here, I'll have you read the clue for the What's in the Box contest. So we have I'm giving away $1,000 here to our viewers. If
Wow.
you can guess what's in this box, I'll have my mom read the 10th and final clue here. So if you can guess what's in this box, you could win money directly from
There you
me.
go.
And the way it works here is if you can guess correctly, you'll be entered into the pool of people
There
who
you
have
go.
guessed correctly.
Wow.
And if you guess correctly and you're entered into the pool, we will have a random comment generator randomly pick 10 people to win $100 each.
Wow. There
And
you go, guys.
guess, all you got to do is leave a comment down below. It's completely free to do so. And if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Click the like button for us. You guys are amazing. So this will be clue number 10. This will be the last clue. And then after this, in the next video or two, we will announce the winners. We'll show them directly on the screen. If you see anybody in the comment section saying text me or call me or WhatsApp me, it's not me. It's just people pretending to be me.
Yeah, you have to watch that nowadays.
Yeah, I don't have any phone numbers to
Yeah.
call or text. It's never me. I'll always have a check mark by my name. Okay, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
So without further ado, my mom's going to tell you guys clue number 10.
Clue number 10 is the item likes rings. So I'll say it one more time. The item likes rings.
Okay.
So there you go.
So clue number 10, the item likes rings. So this is the last clue. So you can guess right now. You can guess as many times as you like.
Go.
And if you want to see any of the previous clues, just go back and watch the previous videos. Okay, and here's the box. I'm going to be opening the box here
box too.
in the next video or two. So yeah, and also we're going to be giving away money in November and December as well. We got Thanksgiving coming up. We got the Christmas holidays coming up. Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, we're going to just be giving away money back to our community because we love you guys so much. And, thanks for watching our YouTube channel here. You guys are just amazing. So I know there's a lot of people struggling right now, and it's just kind of our way of giving back to all the amazing people like my mom.
Guys are lucky
out there in this world. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And here's some videos you can watch next. You can click this video here to watch my newest video next. And you can click this video over here by my mom to watch the Social Security payment schedule coming out here next. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you in the next video.
Goodbye.